So I've actually happened to like Sunday morning football across the pond because I like waking up, get my day started, taking care of the dogs, da da da. Da. And by the time I sit down, the wife gets a coffee in her, and I get my morning go juice and whatever. Then it's starting to be football on, and we can roll into it. Now, they've had a couple trash games. It seems like the unders are hitting whenever they're across the pond, but I like it. I like having them early, and I thought to myself, wait, this is kind of how Tim always has football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he always has football like 9:30, 10, 11 o'clock. Like, I started like, oh, wait, man, this West Coast thing ain't too bad. Now, 6:30's got to be pushing it for you a little bit on a Sunday morning, isn't it?
Yeah, I wake up usually about, between 6 and 7 o'clock, depends on the Sunday morning, or, I might crawl out of bed a little bit later. Who knows if I'm lucky enough. But it's nice to wake up and, their game's already in like the second quarter, or even, I know one time I forgot it was on and it was on it was at halftime already. It was nice this weekend because, I had Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton were both my two players for fantasy football. So I was like, oh, I get to watch these guys. And Bo Nix shit the bed. So, but it was still nice to have football. When you wake up in the morning, here it is. You guys make fun of me because I'm 3 hours behind y'all. But it's nice when I'm watching football at 10 o'clock in the morning, because that's when the Bengals usually are on, is 10 o'clock. And then the next game's on at 1. And then, the next game starts at 5. I'm good. You guys are like, oh, I don't know if I can stay up for this game. Brandon's texting me going,
oh, yeah, I'm asleep.
I'm laying in bed. I can't finish watching this Bengals Sunday night game, Thursday night game, whatever night it is. And I'm like,
I'm asleep.
Soft ass.
Yeah, I'm asleep.
It's what happens to get up.
It's what happens
when we get old.
I got to take Friday off so I can stay up for this Thursday night game. Yeah, that's real life. Well, I'm also taking it off because I'm going to be driving to Michigan, but neither here nor there. I got to take it off.
Yeah.
I'm getting old sucks.
It does.
All right, let's get into some football. Once again, we are running through the jungle. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, here with your host, Tim Lyons. We are down a man as Justin Lacey is at a pretty cool event this evening with some old Bengals players. So I hope he gets to enjoy that. You got to enjoy your life. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, share us, tell a friend wherever you're listening to the show, watching. We appreciate you as always. And we're going to talk some Cincinnati Bengals. We may have a special guest coming in. I believe we're going to have somebody coming in here to do a little bit of a crossover. We're not going to have a TBC like complete Bengals crossover show. Short week. We figured, let's put them all together. There's only two of us. We'll bring somebody else in. Do a quick recap of what we think was going to go down here with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a Thursday night. One of the things that I thought we might be able to take advantage of is they've had some suspect linebacker play. And I thought, man, oh man, that might be where we go. Maybe we get over the middle.
No.
Then we had some injuries last week. We got Gesicki out on IR, and now Tanner Hudson is out in concussion protocol. What are your thoughts on this? What's left in the Bengals cabinet, and where do you think we go from here, Tim?
Well, with the loss of Mike Gesicki, that's a big loss for us because now we're going to be leaning on Yoshi or Charlie Jones, or I don't even know, Jermaine Burton might show up, maybe, I don't know. We're kind of leaning on them for the slot positions, or other positions that Mike Gesicki would play. Then of course Tanner Hudson, he would go out there and do some short yards, quick, some quick in routes, some slants, get those the middle of the field passes. We don't get me wrong, we do have Noah Fant, still Noah Fant. We've been seeing Noah Fant sightings since he's been with it. He was injured last week, I believe it was, but now he was back against the Packers. So now we're down to Noah Fant, Drew Sample, and Mike Grandy. Is that what you said his name was?
Cam Grandy.
Cam Grandy. Yeah, another Cam, I guess. So, it's just it's going to be kind of worrisome, with the short, over the middle of the field, kind of tight end plays, and even tight end blocking. Noah Fant is not the best blocking tight end, but he'll chip a guy or whatever. But it's a big loss when it comes to Mike Gesicki. So, yeah.
I want to agree with you. And I think it should be a big loss with Mike Gesicki. But the fact of the matter is, Mike Gesicki's been a ghost all year.
True.
He got 61 yards on the season.
Mm-hmm.
His high is 18 yards against Jacksonville. And really, I thought he was not only going to be the most productive pass catching tight end. I thought he was basically going to be our number 3,
right.
option. And he's
right.
not.
You're right.
He just hasn't been. He's been probably option 5 right now. And that's a little bit disappointing for me. I was one of those guys that was banging the drum to re-sign him. I was glad he re-signed. Now, listen, does his numbers look different if Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt? Maybe, because, Joe Burrow was one of the guys that, he wanted Gesicki re-signed. He made that clear. So maybe he has a little bit better rapport with him, or they're on the same page kind of deal. I was hoping that, maybe there'd be a resurgence with Flacco, but we won't know yet. We just won't know yet.
Yeah, and I agree.
And Tanner Hudson looked good last week.
Yeah, he did. And, Noah Fant's looking, good with the moments that we get him. But who really needs to step up this week is Yoshi. Yoshi had too many drops on Sunday versus the Packers.
Yeah, unlike him too.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I think if Yoshi steps up, I think, like you said, Mike Gesicki, and I forgot about that. Mike Gesicki has been a ghost. So, I think I've seen him catch 1 or 2 passes this entire year. I don't know. But, I think with Noah Fant taking in that number 1 tight end position, and then, Yoshi or whoever plays number 3, maybe we'll, see a little bit more play out of him.
Yeah. Yoshi had a ball hit him in the hands. He dropped. He had a ball hit him in the face. It just, not a good look for him last week. And some of that's growing pains with a new quarterback he's not caught a ball from really before, you know what I mean? So Flacco throws the ball differently.
Yeah,
you get that. But that kind of leads me into my next question here, right? What do we think about Flacco expectations going into week 2? It's a short week after just joining the team. I know that they went off script for a touchdown with Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
I liked hearing that. But like, what do you expect him? I mean, he knows this Steelers team. Do you expect him to play better this week? Do you expect to see them build on what they did in the second half, or do you think we're still going to have some of the issues we had before?
Yeah, so I actually listened to Flacco's presser today, and I never really listened to him until really honestly today, and it was nice to see his personality, of him coming to Cincinnati and how everything went down, and the comment that Mike Tomlin made. They asked him about did you hear about what Mike Tomlin said about the Cleveland Browns trading you to the Cincinnati Bengals? And he's like, nah, I really, haven't been paying attention. Jamar Chase made a comment of, yeah, I just kept scrolling, so, but, Joe Flacco, I believe that they're still cooking up something. I think he played well last week, and I think they're going to continuously to build off of this thing. And it's a short week again for Joe Flacco. I think we're going to get some more little dink and dump plays from Joe Flacco. Maybe him and Jamar Chase hook up for a non-scripted pass down the field. But I just expect him to, not just be a game manager, but he's going to make those throws that he sees when he sees them. But I still think he's, Joe Flacco's been that dink and dunk kind of quarterback for many years. He's got a great arm, and he will throw it deep every once in a while. But I just think that the same expectation last week for me is still low, until they actually get that gel together.
Yeah, I would like to see him push the ball down the field a little bit more. I really would. But I will say that the one thing I for sure appreciated about his game last week, even though the first half was just abysmal, right? And to be expected, is that he didn't take unnecessary sacks. He got rid of the ball. He threw the ball away. He threw the ball at the screen pass feet instead of trying to float it or taking a sack. He avoided the catastrophic play, the play that puts you, the Bengals got enough weapons on offense to recover from 2nd and 10, but you can't recover from 2nd and 19. That becomes hard. That's daunting. So I like that. That's one positive I'll say, but I don't have huge expectations for him in week 2 in a short week. A Steelers defense is getting healthy. I don't know. I don't know if my expectations for Flacco are anything different than last week, to be honest with you.
Right.
Hopefully he gives us a little bit better shot, but it's, again, a long shot in my mind. Don't make the bad play.
Yeah, we absolutely need plays. We need people to catch the ball when they're throwing the ball. Like Yoshi. Yoshi has to catch those balls because we know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are going to catch those balls. This is his game that he's got to step it. I know I've talked about it already, to beat a dead horse, but Yoshi needs to step up and catch those passes this week. He needs to be prepared for what laser beam is going to be thrown at him.
Well, and maybe an extra few, days catching passes from a quarterback you've never caught a ball from.
Yeah.
Maybe that helps,
Yeah.
I saw Austin put the word hope in the he gave me some hope in that second half. I was like, well, hope. I'll tell you one thing I hope doesn't happen. Trey Hendrickson trade rumors. Man, if Trey gets traded, it just means we've given up on the season. And I don't think Joe Burrow wants us to do that yet. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to get back in December. So we need to put some games together and try to win a few of them to stay in that hunt. But let's say worst case scenario. Let's say we don't. Let's say we're 3-7, whatever that looks like. Do you trade Trey?
Well, I already played with the idea. What was it? A couple weeks ago when Jake Browning was shit in the bed. I was like, oh, it's time to trade Trey, and it's time to put T. Higgins up on the trade block. So I already said that. Yep. I know Bengals fans, you guys probably think, oh, Tim's crazy over here. He's just an old man jibber jabbering. But win is win for the Cincinnati Bengals. Like if we don't win, like this, listen, this. Go ahead.
You got T for 4 years. You don't trade T.
Right.
I would definitely entertain Trey though if we continue to play as poorly as we have.
Yeah, and I think if we continue to lose games, and I believe the trade deadline is November 4th or something like that, November 5th or something sometime in November. If we lose these rest of this, these games leading up to the trade deadline, would it be a bad idea to trade Trey? Yes, but would it be a good idea to trade Trey? Yes. You know, I know from the reports that I've read, the 49ers are really interested in Trey Hendrickson, but the Bengals are not. They're not have any expectations to trade Trey right now at all. You know, from what I'm reading, the Bengals aren't trading him, and I don't think that we're gonna, you know, let Trey finish out his raise that he got this year. You know, but I just don't see the Bengals doing it, man. Like
It's not
I
their MO. It's just not.
No, it's not.
But
You know,
I
I know
will
we
say
did
this:
it mid.
if you don't think you're going to re-sign him, I would rather get a second or third rounder out of him.
True.
If it's somebody that's in contention, you know, later in the season, you'd like to think you get a second rounder because it's going to be towards the end of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get something out of him, even if it's a third rounder. I would.
And I agree with you. You know, unless Trey's in the locker room, you know, being a Carlos Dunlap when we traded him to the Seahawks, you know, because Carlos was causing havoc in the locker room and pissed off because the season wasn't going the way it was going, you know, and the Bengals said, okay, bye, have a nice day. You know, but I just don't see, you know, my expectation for Trey to get traded, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. Even if we don't win these, you know, next games, you know, leading up to the trade deadline, I just don't see it.
Listen. I hope we win win a few games somehow, some way. You know, weird things happen in the NFL.
Right.
So if we could pull off a couple wins, we won't have to have this conversation over and over again, which would be fantastic. All right. Well, that gets us done with the Bengals news and highlights. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors. If you haven't yet, please hit that like, and subscribe, that thumbs up, share us, tell a friend to tell a friend. And we'll be back after these messages with a little bit of the crossover here. We do have a representative for the Pittsburgh Steelers who's going to join us, so we'll be right back. All right, Tim. No strangers here to Steel Curtain Network and the Know It Alls crew and all these Steelers that we have on here that normally bloviate and just talk a bunch of crazy trash. I decided to try not to do that to our Bengals fandom. What I feel like that just would be kicking us when we're down. So I traded up, you could say. So we got somebody. We got somebody that's a little more into the numbers and facts. So,
and this person is a Buckeyes fan too, so
that's all right. It's all right as long as you're a good one. I don't mind. But no, we'll welcome you in, Sarah C. Sarah C. Normally talking college football on the Level Up podcast. Gonna do a little NFL stuff. Sarah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited.
Oh, you even went and got the Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. Oh, you got the gear on. Okay, you got the blanket in the background. Look at you. Yeah,
I tried.
You did good. You did good. We still have our Bengals stuff up regardless of how bad we're playing.
Yep.
Austin Zart says hello. He rocks it with us all the time. We appreciate him.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, man, Thursday night football. It's a shame they can't flex out of those, huh?
I know a lot of people are not. What's the one? Oh, Thanksgiving's the one that everyone is hoping and begging to get flexed out.
I don't even know who's playing Thanksgiving.
I think you guys might be.
The Bengals are.
Who are we playing?
I have to look.
That's a terrible game. I don't want to do that. Stop it. He's not going to be back by then. Yeah, don't. It sounds good on paper with Joe Burrow playing on Thanksgiving, doesn't it?
Oh,
yeah. Thanksgiving. Yeah, you got to, when you know you're in trouble, when you got to trade for a Browns backup quarterback. It's just not a good sign. Not a good sign. Well, but your team's looking better. Getting some defensive guys back. Highsmith back healthy. Who else came back? Somebody else came back last week, right?
Porter's back. Everyone's back. Deshaun Elliott, though, I just found out he didn't travel to Cincy.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, he hit somebody. I thought he killed somebody last week.
And it's the Ravens Monday,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day.
Oh
Ravens.
God, that's even worse.
The Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have Lamar back, but I don't know who else they might have back.
Oh, that's a mash unit for sure. Defense is bad.
Oof.
But hey, if our offense plays the way it doesn't matter, right? Woo! So you're getting healthy. You think you would have a definite advantage here, a short week, since your quarterback has been with the team more than a week.
Yes.
Probably bodes well for you against this matchup. But what we like to do here is like we just go through. We'll start with the offensive side of the ball. Just basically where you think your opportunities are on offense, and then we'll go through where your concerns are on offense. I'll start it off. I'll let Tim start it off with our offensive opportunities because I think this is funny. Tim, do you see opportunities for the Bengals against this Steelers defense? Where's our opportunities lie?
Jamar Chase, that's our opportunity.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know, it's like it's honestly to the point to where like the Steelers, you guys brought in Mike Tomlin and he's got this mold of defense and the steel curtain way. You know, it's not really the steel curtain because we knew who those guys were back in the day, but the Steelers way of defense. You know, you guys got Jalen Ramsey, you got JPJ over there, you got TJ Watt and Cam. Damn, I can't remember his name.
Cam Hayward.
He's a Buckeye.
Hayward. You got Cam
He
Hayward.
is a Buckeye.
Yeah, he's a damn Buckeye. But you know, you guys got this mold of defense, and Tomlin's been so good at it, and the Steelers have just been
Not great.
impressing. Well, you guys have been impressive the first half of the season. Your guys' defense seems to get this voodoo mama magic going on, and you know, create a turnover, and the next you know, you guys win a game by 3 or 6 points or 7 points. You know, because your offense is, it's okay. But, you know, but I think our opportunity is, you know, mixing up Jamar Chase, you know, having him moving all over the place, getting different matches against Jalen Ramsey, JPJ. You know, I'm trying to think of your guys' other corners. Darius Slay's out there now. You know, you got these old men, you know, guys, corners out there, but they're still good football players. You know, Jalen Ramsey's a very smart corner safety hybrid kind of thing. And but I think if we mix it up with Jamar Chase, there's going to be our opportunity. Not going to say the run game because our run game has been crap, and I know what you guys did to Junkins last week. Junkins has been playing great football. Junkins was held to like 3 yards of carry for like 35 yards last week, you know, against the Browns and the Steelers. So I'm not going to say our run game because our run game has not been that good, but I'm going to say Jamar Chase is going to be our opportunity.
Yeah, I like I said, earlier before you joined us, I said, going into this, I was thinking, you know, maybe our opportunity here would be in the middle of the field. You guys have had some questionable linebacker play at times. I was like, oh, Gesicki and Noah Fant, Tanner Hudson. Well, 2 of those 3 guys are out this week. So now I'm like, all right, yeah, it's going to have to be one of those things where Jamar Chase goes off for 180 yards. Or I don't know what else. I don't know what else we got. I just don't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier to do concerns. But, Sarah, where do you see opportunities for your Pittsburgh Steelers against our Bengals defense?
I mean, my biggest thing right now is just keeping Aaron Rodgers upright and keeping him mistake proof. He's got only 3 takeaways this season, and he has very rarely been touched. With them having that 6th guy on the line right now with Darnell Washington as tight end, but seriously a 6th offensive lineman, he has kept him upright. He's kept keeping him protected. And he's making the right smart passes. He's not throwing the deep ball like he used to. He's making a lot little shorter passes. The only thing that makes me nervous, though, is we don't have Calvin Austin in this game. So DK is definitely going to be the highlight right now. And I think that he's going to get a lot more opportunities this week. I'd like to see who else can kind of step up out of that. I mean, that's been our biggest battle right now. And then I'd like to see what we can do with this run game. I missed last week because I was in a car coming home from Nashville.
That's the worst.
So that was an unpleasant thing, but I tried to catch up a little bit on it. But I watched the game the week before, and I think that we finally seem to have a secondary type of run game. I really like what Gainwell's done. I like what our offensive line's doing. So I think it's just going to be time of possession. It's going to be keeping Aaron Rodgers mistake-proof. It's going to be getting that ball in a DK because we have more yards after the catch than we are getting yards to the actual receiver. Like, he's throwing very small passes. It's the amount of time and run yards that they're getting after. And that's going to be the biggest opportunity that we can use, I feel like, because there are a lot of holes right now with you guys. And it has a lot more to do with injuries and everything like that. Like, but I think that we can definitely use that to our advantage.
No, there's just bad tackling. This is missed tackling. It is what it is. Like, I watch it. I will say this too, as far as the deep ball is concerned, and maybe I would know this because I might have DK Metcalf on one or two of my fantasy teams. Grossly underthrown deep ball to him last week that should have been a touchdown, and I was like, "Hey, Aaron, come on!" But yeah, it was grossly underthrown. So, but they do take a couple shots a game, for sure, deep down the field, and that helps, I think, keep everybody honest. You know what I mean? You can't cheat too far in the backfield because they will take shots for sure. But yeah, you're concerned with the keeping the quarterback upright and everything. Okay, I think that's the same concern that Tim and I probably will have. Highsmith and Watt and the rest of the crew have a statue behind a poor offensive line, and I don't want us to break Flacco as well. We already broke Burrow again. We can't have nice things. So that's my biggest concern. Is that, Tim? Would you say that's your concern on offense as well?
Oh, it definitely is. The Steelers sacked Gabriel last week 6 times. So, I definitely is a major concern, keeping Joe Flacco upright and healthy. I think the Bengals play against the Steelers fairly well, but I don't think this offensive line is what it should be after, of the weeks that we've had. So yeah, definitely. And my biggest concern is our offensive line keeping Joe Flacco. Sorry, I'm getting these Joes mixed up. I'm just keeping the Joes protected. There we go.
Old Joe or young Joe?
That's my thing, though. If we keep Aaron Rodgers protected, he is getting the ball out faster than he has. And since we've had a quarterback since Ben, Ben would hold on to the ball longer than anybody. To see a quarterback that actually can get rid of the ball as quick as he can, he makes it so much more successful. And that's why, having that 6th man on our line, because we have such a young line, but I have a lot of hope in the fact that, we've grown each week. I feel like every week they're, gelling just a little bit more, a little better. And if Trey's not playing, I feel like that kind of helps us with your defensive line. So we have the opportunities there. It's just a matter of us all putting them together and really showing that we actually can have an offense, because we keep winning on these small little plays or defenses getting balls away. I want to see this offense finally show up and show that we actually have some extremely, extremely talented people.
And the Bengals can definitely do that for you guys because, as we know, last year when Russell Wilson, became a Steeler, he went out there and threw for 400 yards and lit us up like a Christmas tree. So it fairly well could happen against the Bengals.
Yeah, it's Cam Taylor-Britt will be out there somewhere. Look for him, target him. It goes well for you. I will say, it's the 2 oldest quarterbacks in the league, so I think our concern with keeping them both upright, pretty good, pretty spot on.
Yeah, definitely.
Defensive opportunities and concerns. Tim, why don't you start off with Bengals defensive concern? I feel like it's a good spot to get you running here.
My defensive concern, yeah. So last week, Jordan Love was given all the time in the pocket. So I think
Trey went out. Trey's questionable for this week.
Yeah, Trey went out. Shamar Stewart was out last week, but he's back this week. But I'm not saying that he's going to pick up
Will
where
he be full go too? You know what I mean?
right. And our defensive line just did not play well at all against Jordan Love and that run game. So my biggest concern this week is going to be our pass rush and our run defense because the Steelers, they're going to run the football. You guys are going to run the football at us, and then if you guys get into a longer situation, you're going to throw the football. Well, guess what? Our corners and secondaries can't cover a damn fly. So my major concern is the pass rush, and of course the run defense and our secondaries over top. Because if DK gets loose, and we all know how big DK Metcalf is, I know I do. I live in Seattle. I've been watching him play. For the Seahawks for the last 5 years now, 6 years, however many years it's been now. But if he gets loose, he gets over top, we're toast. We're toast. So yeah, that's my biggest concerns when it comes to our defense.
Yeah, I would reiterate exactly to the most part. It can, especially we don't have Trey. Can somebody put some semblance of pressure on before Cam Taylor-Britt or somebody else is toasted by 5 yards? Because that's been happening a lot. I like our best corner right now as far as play in my mind is Dax Hill. Dax Hill was a guy that they didn't think they could play at corner, tried to move him to safety, realized he wasn't good at safety, put him back at corner. He tore his ACL. He's coming back from an ACL injury this year, and he's been our best corner. Wild. It's wild. Like Cam Taylor-Britt, like, has really shit the bed in a season. I think he really need to prove something in order to get that next contract. It'll be with somebody else. We'll be drafting somebody next year.
Definitely.
In the offseason. All right. Concerns. Do you have any concerns here for the Steelers on defense? And then what do you think your opportunities here on defense other than making Joe Flacco day a living hell?
Well, I mean, my biggest concern are your weapons. I mean, Chase and Higgins are been one of our biggest issues in the AFC North since they've been there. They have 78 catches, 1,194 yards, and 9 touchdowns in 14 appearances against us. I mean, they're no joke. And Higgins is on my team this year, and I'm not happy right now with him on my fantasy team. So I don't want him to get the ball this week, but yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just because like you can't put double on either of them. You can't do single for either of them. So, and Flacco, has our number. Like I have been watching the Steelers since I was, 3 probably. And the Ravens have always had our number. It's mostly been defense, but when Flacco came in there, we seem to always have a little bit of a problem against him. And the fact that Tomlin gave him one of the biggest compliments this past week, pretty much telling the Cleveland Browns that they made the dumbest trade they've ever made, which I don't even know if that's the dumbest thing they've ever done. He has a lot of respect for him, and that says to me like he has I don't know how much concern he has, but I think that he definitely is planning a little bit differently this week. And if you guys are able to get the ball to Chase, especially, like he's going to run. I don't know what his longest yards after catch are, but the man is amazing. The man has the speed. The man has the hands. So my biggest concern is he's very strong. We also have a very strong wide receiver now too, which I love. But my thing is that we aren't as strong in that aspect beyond Jalen Ramsey and possibly Porter. If Porter is 100% healthy, our biggest strength right now is our takeaways. We have a +7 takeaway ratio right now, which is like bonkers to me. We haven't actually lost a fumble, and Rodgers has only thrown 3 interceptions. So if we can get the ball in our hands on defense, that's truly how I feel like we're going to win the game, because that's how we've been winning the games. And I feel like Flacco has that one little mistake that he's usually going to throw at least 1 to 2 picks a game. So that I think are our opportunities. My concerns, though, I don't know why you guys haven't. I don't know if it's your line, what's going on with you guys aren't using your run game, but we haven't had the strength in our run defense. It's gotten better, but I still feel like that's our biggest hole right now. I think that our secondary and our defensive ends are playing really well, but like our front can be really, really shaky. So sometimes I get really nervous. Cam plays one really good game, then he plays a really bad game. Patrick Queen plays a really good game, then he plays a really bad game. They're definitely gelling a little bit better, but I still have a lot of nerves when it comes to that. So I don't know if possibly you guys might use that a little bit more. I would like to see what you guys can do in that. I mean, like, I have nothing against the Bengals really, but I mean,
other than wanting to beat us. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never want to lose, but I'm not, you're not the Browns and you're not the Ravens. That's
so we have a -12 turnover ratio. So there's that. So there's that for it. And then when you say, not knowing why, there's a lot of talk about Chase Brown going into the year and having a big year. I mean, he had 900 yards, basically only playing half of a season last year, a little bit over half a season. The issue that I find with it, yes, there's been some blocking issues and there's been some new offensive linemen. We had some injuries and some stuff. Everybody has that. It's the NFL. It happens everywhere, every week. My biggest problem with it is our play calling. And I have been one of the only people I know been banging the drum for 3 years. I don't think Zach should call plays. I think he should have gave up play calling. And who knows if he would have, maybe somebody would have lost their job in Tennessee this week. I don't know. But yeah, this play calling, man, he's going to run the ball somewhere around 30% of the time. No matter if he's ahead, if he's behind, if he's whatever, doesn't matter. He's going to run it. He's going to run it 30% of the time. He may, if he really digs in, he may go to 35%. But he's going to throw the ball about 70 to 75% of the time. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked it up. It's last week. It was 74.2% that you guys threw the ball.
Yep. Yeah. Damn bubble screen bullshit plays. I can't stand it. And the worst part is if you watch the Bengals on a pretty regular basis, you can call it out by formation. By formation, I can tell you what we're doing. Mm-hmm. It's wild that there's no movement, that there's no that there's no off. Like, they're not doing it to set something else up either. That's the just maddening part, right? You'll see people that go into bunch sets and do kind of the same look 2-3 times in a row to get somebody to bite on a double move. Nope, we're not doing that. That's the play we run when we do that. That's just it. And it's wild to me. It's wild. This guy's supposed to be an offensive, guru that came from McVay or whatever. It is. The only thing he took from Sean McVay is that he never played starters in the preseason until this year. That's it. That's the only thing he got from him.
Yeah.
I digress. I digress.
Do you think he's on the hot seat?
Sorry. On the hot seat? Holy
burning?
Shit. I'm telling you right now, the moving truck is sitting outside running right now. And he's got to do something or he gone.
I think he gets lucky because when Burrow gets hurt, then you can be like, oh, well, Burrow was hurt.
Yeah, well, Burrow has kept him his job. Burrow got Brian Callahan his head coaching job at Tennessee. But how long are the Cincinnati Bengals front office going to lean on this? Well, Burrow was hurt thing.
And if you rewind and remember last year, Burrow was fed up. Mm-hmm. Burrow was pulling coaches aside after was it Monday Night Football, and Burrow's fed up too. And I don't think just because he's not on the field, I don't think he's not going to sit around and watch this and go, you know what, enough's enough. I can't deal with this shit. I don't want to deal with this when I come back. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in, talks to Katie Blackburn or Mike Brown and says, guys, are you seeing the same shit I'm seeing? Are you seeing it?
We can hope.
It can't keep happening. And here's the other part. Like, we want to start really getting into the bones of the Cincinnati Bengals and the way they're ran. Get a real GM. Get rid of the patsy you got that just allows the family to do everything. And sorry, Duke Tobin, had a lot of fun with you. You're gone. And to get a real GM in, get a real scouting department, not 3 goddamn people. It's just wild. It's just wild. They run it like it's there's more coaching at Division I college programs and more money spent in analytics and stuff like that than is spent at Cincinnati Bengals. And that's wild to say out loud. It's wild. So there's a lot of problems there. But yeah, we got a lot of concerns on defense. Tackling, guarding, the things that you do on defense.
Yes.
Got a lot of concerns about all this.
Catching.
So here's the fun part.
Don't even start with me. I already. If you listened to Jeff Hartman and his Let's Ride, you already got my prediction, but I'll give you guys my prediction anyways. So here we go. I'll give it to you real quick, fast, and in a hurry. I part of me believes, the Cincinnati Bengals fan in me believes that this is a trap game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The reason why I say that is because Pittsburgh doesn't travel well and they don't play well on Thursday night. But then there's that logical side of me being an NFL fan, not just a Cincinnati Bengals fan. I feel like the Bengals the Steelers can come in to Paycor Stadium and we can make Aaron Rodgers look like he's good to play for 10 more years. MVP caliber quarterback that he has been in the past. Super Bowl winner. There's that other side of me. So my prediction is the Cincinnati Bengals are going to lose. I'm going to say it's going to be a 7-point game. So let's see here. I'm going to say 24-17 is what I'm going to say. It's going to be a 7-point game. Steelers win because of a turnover. TJ Watt does his crazy shit, causes a fumble or even catches an interception. They get the ball back. You guys score a touchdown. It's all over with, and we go home crying.
27-13 Steelers. I think the only thing we do better than the Steelers in this game is punt. And I'm glad that the only Cincinnati Bengal player that I have on any of my 3 fantasy teams is Evan McPherson because he'll make a field.
I cut all my Cincinnati Bengals fantasy football players, but I am running the Steelers defense and they've been treating me fairly well.
I did try to backdoor a trade for Jamar Chase. And unfortunately, as soon as I did, he had like a 14 catch game.
Right.
So they said no. Can't blame them. All right, Sarah, what's your prediction?
Okay, so I kind of agree with Tim. When we play AFC North, when we play away, like we just don't do well on Thursdays. We don't play our super high level against our biggest opponents. It's just how we are. And it's how we've been so far this season. I mean, the fact that we beat the Browns more than a touchdown, I was shocked. And that really was only in the second half. So I'm going to go with I'm not going with 7. I'm going 27-21. And it's going to be either one on a fumble recovery or an interception because our defense is going to be the reason why we win this game. Because that's
by TJ Watt, right?
I don't know if it's going to be by TJ Watt. It would be kind of cool.
Normally is. Yeah, normally is.
But I mean, I would like to see Jalen or one of those guys. I think Jalen has been an extremely big, just like positive energy for us, surprisingly, as much as everyone thought he was poison in a lot of locker rooms. I think he's been amazing for us. I think he's been a lot of fun to watch and seeing him kind of have a resurrection after leaving the Dolphins, which I'm very glad he did. So I'd like to see him play really well. I love that secondary. I love having these older guys. I like having these vets on every area because we do have such a young team in some really, really key positions that I like having that vet presence. So I say yes, we're going to win, but I don't know by not as much as probably the books are saying. I don't know what's the books.
5.5.
Oh, okay. That's
So
pretty respectable.
But it's at Cincinnati, so it's 8.5 neutral field. Austin's Art says my prediction is the Bengals win 26-20. Austin, you're subject to a random drug test now. And
you know what? Hold on. I'm going to give Austin Art credit where credit is due. So for some of y'all that listen to our Running Through the Jungle, we just started a Friday night pick'em show. And I was kind of like cracking up. Austin sent me his predictions. He picked the Carolina Panthers to win, and he picked the Falcons to beat the Bills. And I was like, no, there's no way. So I, made sure I pointed it out during our podcast. And Austin just made me put my foot in my mouth, and I'm like, wow, he's been pretty damn good. So I'll give him his credit where his credit is due.
Friday night, Pay and Tate both picked the Falcons. I was the only one that took the Bills.
Yeah,
wild.
They look good.
But listen, if the Bengals do win 26-20, some kind of weird score would probably be
believable.
Probably be what it would be. Some kind of odd score. And the only reason why the Bengals would ever beat the Steelers in this Thursday night matchup is because Big G has put bad karma out in the world. That's it. It's the only reason why. He's
running his mouth somewhere.
Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah.
That trap has not stopped yapping. And the funniest thing is I've got all these receipts from all off season when all he did was talk trash on
Aaron
Rodgers and
DK Metcalf, I believe.
All the Yinzies are going to find out, like, so-and-so, like, it's going to be it for Tomlin. Like, there's all these receipts out here. He says it on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns around and just 100% flips. Listen, AA knows 100% right. 100% right.
Hey, I'm a true Yinzy, and I love everything that's happening right now. Tomlin kind of can make the girl angry.
I told G on Sunday, I said he changes his takes more than he does his underwear. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's wild. Anyway. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. I think it's AFC North football. They'll play with a chip on their shoulder. They'll keep it somewhat respectable. I've got the largest margin of victory at 14. I think the least is 6. It's going to be probably somewhere in that area. I think it's a 2-score game, but ask me. All right, Sarah, thank you for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you next, what you got going on out there.
So I do the Level Up podcast every Monday night. It's at 6:00, and we are going to be starting some type of pick'em. It'll be our first episode, which will be airing on Saturdays. So see how my predictions go. We'll see. Sometimes I'm really hot, and sometimes I am really, really bad at it. So I can't wait to see how good or bad I can be this season.
Hey man, sometimes footballs. It just is what it is.
It is. I mean, that's why I love it. You never know.
It's not a round ball. It bounces funny. Tim, you got you got prediction show coming up on Friday?
Yeah, we got the Running Through the Jungle NFL Pick'em show with my boy Justin and I at 6:30 Eastern time.
Pull some deets out from the function he's at too.
Yeah, we'll get some information on that. We'll go over our record from last week because that was our first week of doing it. It was something that I kind of came up with, but come check out Justin and I on Friday at 6:30, and then of course you can always catch me here on Running Through the Jungle with this ugly guy. Well, this ugly guy next to me. That guy.
Wait, what happened?
Okay.
Hold on a second now. All right. So next week will be business as usual. And then on the 29th, 2 weeks out, it'll either be just Tim and Justin or we'll move it to Thursday. We don't really know yet. I'll discuss it with the gentleman and let everybody know. I'm cool if you guys want to do it on Wednesday, but the 29th, Sarah knows very well that is the wife's birthday, so I won't be here. I got reservations already.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's fun. So I appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'll be Friday night in the homies like always at 8 p.m. So after you get the Pick'em show, come on over and check us out. We'll be doing our Pick'em. We'll be talking a lot of bumping gums, as they say, and I'll be doing it from Michigan some. And then, as always, check us out next week as we are running through the jungle.